Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Tally. Today's a tough subject, guys, because this is something that I battle with, and I've probably battled with since I was a kid. It developed in me, and since then it's just like when I was a kid, like grade school, middle school, it wasn't really a problem because you're a kid, right? And nobody holds you accountable for that behavior. But when you become an adult and you have an attitude problem, you suffer the consequences, babes. So let's talk about it. So my attitude problem, guys, it's definitely a defense mechanism when I feel powerless over a situation. See, you got to know where these things come from, because that's the only way we gonna overcome it, right? So it's like comes from a place where you might feel powerless over a situation and you feel like you just have to take it, but instead of taking it gracefully, we decide to take it not so gracefully, right? And our passive aggressiveness, our nature, just like, okay, fine, I'm gonna be here, but I'm just gonna have this attitude, right? And sometimes it's a circumstance that you don't want to be in and you willing to head out at any time, or maybe it's a circumstance that you feel like you have to be there, so you can't head out at any time. So while you here, this is the posture you're gonna have towards it. This is the defense kind of you're gonna take towards it. Or maybe it's a circumstance that you wanna be there, but it's just not, things are not working out the way you would hope, you would imagine. So this is why you have this attitude with it. And guys, like I said, when you were a kid, an attitude problem is overlooked. Maybe a few people check you, because I remember a few people check me here and there, but a few people told me, like, your attitude is gonna end you up in some bad places. And someone told me that when I was like 11 years old, and it's not even someone I was given an attitude with. It was like someone who they said they heard from God. I'm gonna be honest with you. They said they heard from God, and that's what that person told me about me. And then someone else told me, like teachers told me, who experienced that attitude, they're like, that's a terrible attitude, that's not good to have. And I'm not even gonna lie, sometimes I didn't even understand what they were talking about, but now I do, guys. Now I do. And I'm telling you, we gotta check our attitudes. I'm putting you in it, but it's me for real. We have to check our attitudes. And as I've been telling you guys for the past year and a half, like, God has been bringing up so many things that I need to work on. All right. And I have to tell you guys, this journey with God it's amazing. It's amazing because it's like, God is changing things inside and outside. I've managed to lose some weight. He's opened doors so I could lose, some weight, and I'm still working on that journey. And then there's some inner things that I had to heal from, childhood traumas and whatnot that I have to heal from. But most recently, he's brought up this attitude problem, and it's so deep rooted, guys. It's so deep. I'm telling you, for me, I already know right now, for me to overcome this attitude problem I have, it's gonna be a serious uphill battle. So I'm just putting out this word out here. So for all of you guys who are near this point, at this point, or gonna get to this point, we do need to work on our attitudes, because I feel like I know for a fact, actually, that this attitude has lost me some opportunities. It has locked me out of certain opportunities. It has blinded me from having the right mindset about a situation. Like, it has blinded me from doing my best and having the right mindset about any kind of, opportunity or circumstance I was in. It's pushed a lot of people away from me. I'm not gonna lie about that. It definitely was the reason that many relationships I've severed ties. A lot of relationships have been severed, okay? And it's also and this is the main way it's affecting me now. It's also pretty much the reason for me not being able to access new relationships. And that's important. The past, I can't handle what was done in the past, guys. But for this future, like, locking me out of new relationships, that is big. Because if you know about relationships, and this is again, these are things that I did not know in the past, but you know, if you want to be successful in this world, in any area, many times, if not all the time, it is going to be relationships that pushes you to the next level, that causes you, that promotes you, right? That brings in income and money, and it just creates access to a lot of different opportunities. So if you're someone like me who struggles with an attitude problem, you're going to lock yourself out of different opportunities. You're going to stop the relationships that you need to happen in order for God to move you to the next level in your life. And that is a big problem. That is a big problem. If you're not able to get along with people, if you're not able to maintain, because that's really what it is. Because when you first meet me, and I'm being super honest right now, and you know, I believe in honesty, because when you can reveal and be honest with yourself, that's like the first step to being able to fix things. But yes, what it is that when someone first meets me, maybe if it's a good day, it's because if I'm already going through something, you're going to see that all over my face and my body language, and it's going to immediately repel you. But let's say if you first meet me and nothing's wrong, I'm a very open, inviting, smiley person, and that's really who I am. That is at the core of who I am. That's who I am, a very smiley, friendly person. But when I have something going on, when I have an issue, when I have a problem with somebody, it's hard for me to put that to the side, like, you know, what they call compartmentalize it, and not let it affect everything. So my whole demeanor changes, and then you get a very, to put it blunt, a nasty side of me that even I'm not gonna be honest, I don't even like that side. I don't even like that side of me. And that's why I'm going to bat, and I'm gonna battle her right now. And I am battling her in this current season of my life. And the battle just started too. But that's why I'm going to bat, because I don't even like that side of me. But when she comes out, it's so hard for me to overcome that side of me, because I'm just very, I'm sensitive. I'm a very sensitive person emotionally. I'm a very honest person, and I can't fake it. I tell you guys this a lot of the time, that it's very hard for me to fake it. And it does play into my professionalism, which is another part that I hate as well, because in different environments, you are expected, all right, to maintain professionalism, especially as a woman of color, especially as a black woman, because they are, I'm sorry, if you're not a black woman, you're not going to understand, and you're probably not going to believe this, but they are looking for any reason to deem you as unprofessional, to deem you as unworthy, to make it harder for you to get to a certain status and way if you're not super submissive and super friendly and super kind 100% of the time, which no human being could be that ever. You know, no human being could be that. But as we already know, there's a certain saying amongst people of color, and black people mostly, that you have to be, you have to work twice as hard for the same kind of things, for the same goals. You have to work twice as hard, because they're looking for any reason. So now when you're a woman of color, or you're a black woman, and you have attitude issues, that just works against you even more. That makes it even harder for you, because they're waiting to have that. And I'm not gonna lie, many black women, us black women, I hate to put this in a box, but you know, there are many, I've met many that you come across and they're open and friendly, but because we wear our disposition on our shoulders, so we wear what we've been through on our shoulders, there's a lot of times we come across ourselves, even as a black woman, come across other black women, that we do have a certain attitude about us, right? We do have a certain, we're closed off, we're not really that friendly all the time, and we're kind of taught to be like that. We are taught to be like that, and we're taught not to be friendly, we're taught not to be open, and maybe because of things that we go through in our personal life, we don't want to be, it shapes us and molds us into something that's not that friendly as well. And I'm not saying, what I'm saying is that we don't experience enough compassion in this world. Hey, I'm not here to argue with anybody about this, all right? Black women, or maybe people of color in general, or black people, we don't experience compassion in this world. Like, when things happen to us, it's always, why did this happen to us? What did you do? This was your fault. You should have did this. You should have did this, or this wouldn't have happened to you if you did this. Like, and we wear that. We know that we walking around in a world that is not compassionate towards our situation. That tells us to get over it, pick ourselves up by the bootstraps. We're lazy, we're lying, we're not good enough, it's our fault. Like, this is the type of world we live in, and I do feel like as black women especially, we kind of wear that on our shoulders. So it just makes us, our position towards this world, how we show up in this world, it makes us show up unfriendly, unkind, just with the weight of the world on our shoulders, basically, which is sad. And this is something that we have to be self-aware about in order for us to change it. And there's so much things to heal and come through in order for us to change it as well. So I have to acknowledge that before I continue with that. But as I'm saying, when it comes to like professionalism, it feels like they're looking for a way to just they're looking to like when you have that attitude, it's like it checks off for them. It checks off, like, this is what we know you to be. So they're looking for that to validate what they already feel is the stereotype about us. Exactly. So, we don't want to fall into those stereotypes, but there's just so much work to do in order for us not to fall into that category, those stereotypes. And as I'm telling you right now, it's something like, if you do want to grow and you do want to get to the next level in your professional life, your personal life, your career goals, we do have to overcome this attitude issue. We have to overcome it. We have to be able to compartmentalize. We can't wear everything on our sleeve. Like, my heart, that's what it is. My heart is on my sleeve. Like, I can't really fake nothing. So when things happen to me, I feel it deeply, and it contributes to attitudes and mood swings and all of that. But honestly, we are trying to get to the next level in our lives. We can't let these things hold us back. So if you do have an attitude out there, it's time for us to check it. It's time for us to mature, maybe grow up a little bit. I don't know if it had everything to do with that, but the thing about it, if other people could do it, we can too, right? That's a no-brainer. Like, if other people could do it, there's no doubt in my mind that we can't do it. Like, there's nothing that we can't do. Like, we really do everything. Like, we really on top of everything, and there's nothing that we can't do, as I see. So it's like, if this is something that we need to handle, we need to take care of, that we need to overcome, there's no doubt in my mind that we're not able to do that. So the main thing is, like, we really don't want to get locked out of our blessings. We really don't want to get locked out of certain things that God has for us, certain levels, certain promotions that God has for us. We don't want to get locked out of that. So we have to check ourselves. We have to realize when what we're putting out to the world, how we're showing up to the world is not in our best interest, because this is not about how other people perceive us. It's less about how other people act, how other people perceive us, what people think about us, what stereotypes that they have in their mind about us, because we most of the time we're not going to change that, right? We definitely, if we decide to change our attitude and we show up differently, we're definitely going to change the minds and hearts of people, but that's going to take time. That's going to take a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of self-awareness from our community as a whole. And I'm not even blaming that on our community, because there's many people who have an attitude. There's this girl who, she's not a woman of color, and she showed up and she had a bad attitude, right? But because we are stereotyped in this way, that's why I'm also talking to us, because I'm a black woman, so I have to talk about my experience as well. But it's less about what other people think about us, because at this point I could really care less, but it's more about evolving, growing, changing, and laying hold of those different levels and the new opportunities that lay wait for us, for our promotion, for our gain, for our personal best, for the best for us. That's what it's about for me. So I'm tired of losing those opportunities. If you're tired of losing out on opportunities, and sometimes when you have that attitude about you, a bad attitude, you're not even aware of the opportunities that could be out there, and you won't be aware until you get rid of that bad opportunity, that bad attitude. You won't be aware of other opportunities unless you get rid of that bad attitude and you change your mindset, because that is a mindset change. And now you're going to be aware of different things. Now different things are going to come to you and come into your life because you have made yourself open to new things. You no longer believe that you're powerless. You're not powerless against anything, because you have power over in God. You have power over everything. Nothing has power over you. So it's like a belief system that we really have to get to the bottom of, and we got to change, and we got to figure out why are we like this, and we have to begin to change these things so we can be our best selves. That's what this is all about. So think about this, guys. This is just something that I was just thinking about for me. All right, love you guys. See you soon.